volunteered, like the rest of there were 80 men who volunteered to be part of this mission, which was the U.S.'s answer to Pearl Harbor, which we just had the anniversary on December 7th.
Did he know what he was volunteering for?
None of them did. They went to a base down in Florida.
Eglin.
Thank you.
Eglin Air Force Base.
Yeah. And spent a lot of time down there training. And they did a lot of takeoffs and flying 50 feet above the ground. They had to strip those bomber planes, the B-25Bs, strip them of anything that wasn't needed so they could take off in short distances. So they practiced and planned and did that over and over again till they could do it. And then I don't think they really knew what was going on until the planes were all loaded on the USS Hornet, the aircraft carrier, because that's what they had to plan for, is to be able to take off of an aircraft carrier, which these bombers were not designed to do.
Nope.
Right. So they didn't tell these guys, I think, right, until they were out on the water, like, I don't know. I don't think they did it right away on the ship, but it was like once they got out there a ways.
Yeah, no, they were on the aircraft carrier before they got mission details, and they didn't. Then they finally figured out what their targets were in Japan, and the ruptured duck, Thatcher's B-25 that he was a crew on. They were supposed to take out a textile factory, I think, is what their target was. Actually, I can look it up real quick.
That's interesting that he was the gunner. I know that they did take some of the guns off. They painted some broomsticks, I believe. They took the belly gun, or was there a belly gun or something?
No, this is a top turret.
Oh, okay.
Top gun, yeah.
Okay.
Steel factory. Their target was a steel factory in Tokyo.
And basically, this was a suicide mission.
I was just going to ask, do we know how many came back from it?
Well, 69 out of the 80 returned. Is what I just read this morning. I was looking up a couple of details because I figured that was one that you all would ask. But you think about what they had to do. Let's back up just a little bit more. They stripped those planes and everything. They had to load some tanks with fuel because they knew they weren't going to have enough fuel.
So they needed extra fuel.
So they would dump the fuel in as they could and threw the cans overboard.
Oh, jeez.
As they were going. I mean, they didn't know if they were going to get to safety. I mean, they had a mission to go drop these bombs and then try to land the plane.
Yeah, try to land in China.
And so Doolittle was actually the first one to take off the Hornet. And when he took off and actually was airborne, everybody was just so excited.
They're like, we can do it.
Yep. And then they continued the rest of them. And as Cole said, the ruptured duck, plane number 7, is what David was in. And it ends up being one of the more famous planes out of all of them because the pilot, David's pilot, Ted Lawson, wrote the book 30 Seconds Over Tokyo.
I got to read that.
So David is depicted all through the book